There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz Jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Change. It happens when you least expect it, but also when you embrace it. At Accenture, we help the world's biggest brands thrive through change. Our people combine technology and creativity, expertise and experience, learning and collaboration, passion and purpose to make a difference for our clients, their customers, our company, and our communities. Behind every great change is a great human. Bring your skills, your curiosity, and your true self to your work every day. Let's do incredible things. Let's deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity.
Good morning, people. Welcome to Marketing Me. We're live today for Arellano University. So today we'll be joined by speakers from IBM and Shearwater Health. So before we start, we invite everyone to join us for the prayer followed by the national anthem.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Thank you for that. So, good morning, people. I'm Shari from Academic Linkages. Hope you are excited to learn new things today. Yeah. So, to officially start today's session, we'd like to invite Miss Mildred Pangan, RGC RPM, to give us the opening remarks.
To our Assistant Vice President of One Sumulong Campus, Mrs. Grace V. Caico, Assistant Vice President for Student Personnel Services, Mrs. Fe Caridad Caico Riodica, Deans and Professors from the different colleges and departments, to our guest speakers and facilitators from jobs180.com, and of course to our students, good morning and welcome to our Marketing Me Pre-Employment Webinar. So often, college students look at graduation like a finish line. At the beginning, that finish line seems so far away, and honestly, most are not ready yet to cross it. While graduating from college is a fantastic goal to set and accomplish, the reality is that job hunting is not always easy, especially for new graduates. You might find yourself dealing with anxieties and self-doubts. You will experience how difficult it is to apply for a job without enough work experience, considering that your competitors are more experienced, knowledgeable, and skilled for the position you are applying for. Plus, the challenges and difficulties brought about by this pandemic, you must be wondering how to begin your job search. Yes, it's still pandemic, but we have to remember that companies are still and continuously hiring, but the process may be a little bit different from the traditional one. Several companies now are practicing online screening of applicants or online applications. Also, you have to prepare yourselves for a possible working remotely or the work from home setup. So you must prepare your own laptop and other equipment necessary, and of course a place in your home that you can call your workplace. Looking for a job is like selling yourself to a company. How are you going to promote yourself to your future employer? You have to make it sure that you stand out among all the candidates. What are the things that you need to prepare before going to the battlefield? Have you started making your own resume now? Do you know how to make it more attractive, informative, and authentic? Are you confident to talk about and present yourself to your prospective companies? What are the things that you need to do and not to do when you are being interviewed face-to-face or through online? These are just some of the things that you need to consider when applying for a job. Job hunting will never be all smooth sailing. There's likely to be bumps in the road. You may be rejected many times, but it does not mean that you will stop fulfilling your dreams in life. Stay positive, focus, and learn from every experiences you make. One day, a good company will see your potentials, and that will be a life-changing opportunity. For now, take advantage all the kinds of platforms that help you to be as prepared as possible, like this kind of pre-employment webinar, to prepare you with the necessary skills and knowledge in looking for a job, and to ensure that when you graduate, you are confident and equipped to face the next chapter of your life, the very challenging world of work. In partnership with jobs180.com, you will surely learn these basic skills and knowledge. So, relax, enjoy, and learn from our resource speakers. Thank you and good morning again to everyone.
Thank you for that, Miss Mildred. So to our audience, thank you for being on time. May we please ask you to put in your name, your course, and the school campus that you're from. Ayan. So lagay nyo lang doon sa ating comment section. So if there are friends, if you have classmates that are not here yet, please tag them and please share this video with them. We don't want them to miss out on this webinar today. Ayan. So please be advised that there is also an evaluation form at the end of this event, so that secures attendance for everyone who is attending this session for this morning. Yeah. So here is our schedule for this morning. We have online applications to be presented by jobs180.com, after graduation checklist to be presented by IBM, and virtual interview tips to be presented by Shearwater Health. Ayan. So we are up for a very exciting day today, no? Ayan. So if you have questions later habang nagrepresent yung speakers natin, huwag kayong mahiya, lagay nyo lang dun sa comment section natin para matanong natin sa speaker after their talk. Ayan. So let's go to our first speaker. Our first speaker for this event is Sir Chua. He is the Managing Director for jobsunique.com. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. He is a trusted resource speaker and has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. Ayan. So again, to our audience, please don't be shy. Please put in your questions if may naisip kayo habang nagrepresent si Sir Kim, and we'll get to it after his talk. Sir Kim, we are ready here. Please take it away. The floor is yours.
Share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. No? Not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan ang tinatawag nating resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, no, with all these checklists. your checklist should include the following. Number 1, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito atong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, ito ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. This should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay? More than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo, dapat yung protectionan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito ang tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make it? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos? Ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, meron kang kapangalan, okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot. Pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, balirin mo. Gawin mo santosjohn.180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang pangalan. Okay? Pareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayo create yung mga creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw ay makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So sayang lang. So you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? Register. Wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpletong detalye nyo. So how do you do that? You go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-log in. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo, kayo lang may alam yan, at lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kina-account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay, lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po, lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR, kagaya ng social media account nyo. Diba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot, lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. Diba? Kasi takot kayo, baka nagsascam or whoever yung tumatawag. So ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often that you open your social media account. So I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis tayo makapag-PM. Private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pagpilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no switch, on, off switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. Edi lagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or anong mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag-door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating ko sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gaano karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. Diba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So, hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So, if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. Diba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So, you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-tourism at pang-HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa 2 lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung 2. Kung 2 lang talaga alam nyo, din 2 lang. Ano tong 2 to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Sabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. Na ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam nyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma, 'di ba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga? Hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo, 'di ba? Certificate, diploma, 'yan, ebidensya 'yan, okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBA clearance, police clearance, 'di ba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede ka mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets nyo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay, ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiram mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So, kung di mo type yung sagot, i-delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, yung mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa discarding mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So, I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So, you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda yung sample yan. Okay? So, huwag kayo maglagay ng mga kasi mga sample na profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes! A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo i-express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kayang-kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Yung nasa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Diba? Halimbawa, o sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologist, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, ito. Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan membro na Akit Bahay Gang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako rin mismo, napagkakamalan ko yung mga aplikante, nakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, diba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan, blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this? It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo tsaka oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example. Kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang ganoon na dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you'll be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So, sa mga personality nyo. Alam niyo na anong dapat yung gawin at hindi yung dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything. From top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo napapabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. Pati buhay rin ng HR napapabilis because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo attention, gusto ka niya ngayon kausapin or schedule for the next step, like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second. Diba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Diba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills or sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design, diba? Gets mo ibig ko sabihin. Wag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pag nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pagprocess sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, Sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do you do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real-time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila real-time. As in real-time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo attention, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So better make sure nandiyan yung mga contact details na updated. Okay? So yan. So tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So you're now thinking, okay ito paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay, lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com, and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay, wag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik. Hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year. Ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala nang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. When you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to your information. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan ang kulit, tsaka nakapagod. Ano gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo. Update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. O, di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Itong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No? Maliliit lang, parang business card ang dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante na ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Diba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid, secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, with this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secure na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganun. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data, pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Di ba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi, makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. O, di ba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pa mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now, we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So, thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So, hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo, especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool. Please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes. Lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay. Of course, explain lang ako Okay. With respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs 180, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo, you can always edit it. Enter, save it. Real-time update. Lahat ng bigyan mo ng resume link, updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo-linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Di balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang. Di wala nangyari. Di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com, or email us, email me, here sa info@jobs180.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay, again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget yung wa. Okay, baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo na nagsasabing be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sir Kim. So to our audience, we are now opening the floor for questions. Meron ba kayong tanong doon sa discuss ni Sir Kim a while ago? So while you're thinking about your questions, I will go first. So number one question. Sir, what do you think are the things that fresh grads, especially now na pag-graduate na po sila, ano yung unang bagay na kailangan nilang paghandaan for the job fair because they're going to have a job fair. So later, the details sunod nito.
Ang una nilang kailangan paghandaan for them to join a job fair, virtual job fair man ito or face-to-face job fair, is to complete their information. And then speaking of information, wag na tayo lumayo, no? Kompletohin nila yung resume link. That's what I recommend. The reason why is because when you create your resume link, dun pa lang sa paggawa nyo ng resume link, kapag na-set up mo ng maayos, you'll be getting a lot of possible job matches na eh. So whether you join a job fair or you miss out a job fair, halimbawa lang, medyo kampante ka kahit papaano kasi may maraming mga companies na nag-i-invite sa iyo na. 'Di ba? At least that's one of the very practical benefit na nakita ko. So you have to create your resume link. That's the first one. The other thing that I think will be very beneficial is when you complete your information and you join these events, whether face-to-face or virtual, specifically for virtual career fair kasi meron kayo no in the coming week. In the coming weeks pala. Then ang maganda dito is that the companies who will be seeing your information, hindi na sila magpapabalik-balik. Kasi pag kulang-kulang yung details nyo, ano nang ang tendency is pabalik-balik. Diba? Buti sana kung yung company, mahaba rin yung patience para hingin yung mga additional information ninyo. There are some HR who would like to make it more efficient. Na pagtingin pa lang nila sa profile mo, gusto nila hanggat maaari, nandun na lahat ng details na kailangan nila or at least kung anong meron sa inyo. Diba? You put everything there. So that's the reason why I showed in the presentation earlier, yung portfolio section, very helpful yan. You start by creating your selfie video. Ganun lang kabilis. Kung tumi-TikTok nga ka, kayang-kaya nyo gumawa ng selfie video. Only that this time, ang gawin nyo, you pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR just by answering basic questions lang. Tell me something about yourself. Why should we hire you? O ganun, di ba? Yan yung gawin nyo. Now, another thing to back it up, yung mga documents. Lagay mo dyan lahat ng mga documents na nagpapatunay sa mga skills na kiniklaim mo. So, with those in mind, I think mabilis yung processing no on the part of the HR and kayo rin. 'Di ba? Hangga't maaari naman yung mga HR ayaw naman nila nagpapaasa eh. 'Di ba? Kayo rin naman, 'di ba? Sino ba naman gusto na nagpapaasa? 'Di ba? Ayaw niyo rin naman umaasa eh. 'Di ba? So hangga't maaari, ganun din no yung mga HR. Pag nakita nila okay, proceed tayo sa next step. Next interview niyan or possibly job offer. Pag nakita nila mukhang malabo, edi at least alam mo na rin di ba, na for future reference na or maybe hindi ka na for that company for now. O, di ba? Ayan.
Okay. Thank you for that, sir. Question here coming from AU Jose Abad Santos. Free po ba ang paggamit ng Jobs 180?
Of course, libre po ito. You can charge it to friendship. And friendship pa more. Wala tong bayad, libre po 'yan, no? Wala talagang bayad absolutely for free. Hindi ko alam ano pang i-explain ko sa libre, sa free. Wala po tong bayad. Okay, ang kailangan mo internet, no? Kung yung internet pinoproblema natin, hanap tayo, maging resourceful tayo. Hanap tayo ng libreng internet, libreng ganun lang. Maki-connect tayo sa mga kaibigan natin. Kung meron naman silang data, maki-connect muna tayo, 'di ba? 'Yon. So 'yun, walang bayad po ang Jobs on 80. Ah,
Same with the job fair, sir. No, ano din po. Free of charge
yes.
for everybody.
Yes. Absolutely free, no? Ang importante lang dito is yung presence ninyo. Because kahit may job fair tayo, kahit gumawa tayo ng maraming virtual career fair, at kahit maraming kumpanya nandyan, kung wala naman po kayo, edi wala rin mangyayari, 'di ba? Kumbaga, kailangan nandoon din kayo. So you get to explore, you get to experience it. Now, when you join a job fair, it doesn't mean that you kasi iba iniisip nila ganito eh. Eh paano kung hindi pa naman ako ready mag-apply ng trabaho? Paano kung hindi pa naman ako I need to finish some more terms or maybe some more ano tawag sa ganyan, credits, no? Units pala, I mean units, no, sa school, hindi pa ako gagraduate. Pwede ba akong sumali diyan sa virtual career fair? Ako ini-encourage ko kayo sumali. 'Di ba? Regardless kung anong year level kayo. Just the mere fact that you're there, you get to experience ano nangyayari sa isang event, it will help you, no? It will help you. Lalo na kung ikaw ay naghahanap ng trabaho, nandiyan na 'yan. Sinusubo na sa inyo yung mga kumpanya at mga trabaho, 'di ba? So hindi na kayo nahihirapan. Lalo na ngayon, virtual pa ang setting. Mm.
Eto sir, magandang question to. From AU
Okay.
Main Campus. Ano pong advice ang mabibigay niyo sa mga fresh grad na gustong mag-apply pero humihina ang loob dahil may mga kasabayang graduates galing sa mas malalaking university?
Okay, ganito 'yan sasabihin ko sa iyo, no? Sino may nagtanong na 'yan? Okay, that's a very good question. It's a very valid question. Now, una-una sa lahat, who's to say ano ang malaking university, 'di ba? 'Di ba? You know, ako I'm being here, I'm being objective, no? Who's to say na ikaw ay galing sa isang malaki or maliit na university? Ang bilangan ba dito yung laki ng campus? Yung bilangan ba dito yung dami ng awards? 'Di ba? Yung dami ng aircon sa campus ninyo, ganun ba ang bilangan diyan or dami ng sasakyan na nakaparada? Hindi po 'yan ang basihan. Okay? So, para sa akin as an HR, okay, I'll tell you straightforward, when HR people hire, when companies look for the applicants, they normally I would say on average, kadalasan, they normally look at your skills. Yan yung una-una na tinitignan, regardless kung saan kang university nang galing, kung saan ka man school nang galing. Okay, so never ever feel that you are from a small school or a small university, especially if you're saying you're coming from Arellano University, baka baka habulin ka ng mga taga-school diyan. Biro lang, 'di ba? Arellano University is a very well respected, no? One of the most sought after school. Just so you know. Okay, just so you know. Kaya sinasabi ko lang na importante, 'wag natin gawing dahilan, no, yung kung saan man tayo galing na school para panghinaan ng loob pag tayo mag-a-apply. Because sa mata ng isang employer, lahat naman ito ay workforce. Meaning, lahat naman ito aplikante. Lahat naman ito magiging katrabaho. Regardless kung saan ka man nanggaling na school or ano man yung socio-economic class na pinanggalingan ng taong yon, 'di ba? Sa skills nagkakabasihan, nagkakataluhan. Diyan nagkaka-compare sa skills. So, don't ever feel bad, okay? Kung saan ka man galing, okay? Lalo na kung galing ka sa Arellano University. Okay? Don't ever feel bad. Yan. Be proud. You are a chief. O, sabi nga nila. Okay.
Small university pa ba yung Arellano?
Oo nga baka nga hindi siya taga-Arellano.
Hindi,
Hindi, biro lang.
taga-AU.
Taga-AU.
Ayan. Okay. So, final reminders na lang po to our audience. What you see on your screen are the schedules for the virtual career fair happening from April 25 to 27. So, kanya-kanyang campus, may tigi-isa din silang schedule. So, please look at the assigned dates for your campus po. Registration for this, it's available schools.jobstraining.com/au. Ayan, doon po kayo pwede mag-register. Tapos hanapin nyo lang po yung campus nila. Ayan.
Kita nyo naman,
So,
'di ba? Diyan pa lang sa schedule ng virtual career fair nyo, 3 araw 'yan. Okay? O so kung pinag-uusapan niyo yung laki ng university, kayo na lang ang sumagot diyan, no? 3 araw 'yan para ma-support natin yung buong iba-ibang campuses po ng Arellano University. So please, don't ever feel that way, no? Kung sino may nagtanong. But sasali kayo sa job fair, explore, and then make sure lang kompleto na yung resume link ninyo, Okay, para pag kayo ay sumabak sa gera, sabi nga, or sa laban, handa kayo, 'di ba? Hindi yung pagpunta mo diyan, wala tayong pang ano, pang baril or pang bala, 'di ba? So kailangan kompleto yung ating resume link. Okay? Yan
Alright,
lang.
thank you for that, Sir Kim. So we have a certificate. They prepared a certificate for you. So this certificate of appreciation is awarded to Sir Kim Chua for his invaluable contribution as resource speaker in the webinar entitled Marketing Me. Ayan. So this is signed by Ma'am Fe Caridad Caycorio, AVP for Student and Personal Services. Ayan. Thank you po,
Thank
Sir
you.
Kim. Thank you.
Maraming salamat din. Thank you. See you soon. Be
Thank you,
safe.
sir. Ayan.
Bye-bye.
So, to our audience, kita-kits po tayo sa virtual career fair natin happening on April 25 to 27. So, now let's proceed to our next speaker discussing after graduation checklist. We have Miss Petite Francisco from IBM. Miss Petite is the campus and early professional hiring lead with more than 10 years of experience in talent acquisition and currently leading the campus relations of IBM. Miss Petite, hi ma'am.
Hello,
Good morning. Ma'am, can we test your share
hello,
screen?
hello, good morning.
Good
Hi,
morning, ma'am.
Shari.
I can hear
Yes,
you po loud and clear.
all right, that's great. Let me just quickly share my
Sige
screen.
po. Answering question from the audience, pupunta po kami sa virtual career fair, kailangan po ba gumawa ng resume link? Yes, it's a must po kasi the employers will be using it to process applications. Ayan. So, Miss Petite, your presentation is up. We'll get to it po. You have 20 minutes. I'll be back for Q&A. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thanks, Shari. So, good morning, everyone. So, thank you again for spending your morning with us. All right. So just to introduce myself again, so I'm Petite Francisco, currently functioning as the campus and early professional hiring lead of IBM. So just a brief introduction about myself. So I have more than 10 years of experience in talent acquisition, handling various roles from tech to non-tech, from early professionals up to the executive level. On a personal side, I love watching movies and playing video games. I also have four dogs and three cats. All right. So before we start, I'd like to introduce first who is IBM. So who are we? So we are actually a global technology and innovation company. So take note that we no longer make computers. Instead, we are one of the largest technology and consulting employer in the world. We live at the intersection of business and technology, and today we are a cognitive solutions and a cloud platform company transforming entire industries. So, simply put, we offer business process solutions, technical and industry solutions, and innovative technology solutions to respond to the world's ever evolving needs. So we have been providing business value for enterprise clients in the Philippines for more than 80 years now. So this 2022, we are actually turning 85 to be exact. So at the right side, you'll see the six sites we have in the Philippines. So we have office in BGC, Quezon City, Eastwood, UP Ayala Techno Hub, Hanson Square in Ortigas. We also have one in Naga and one in Cebu. And at the bottom part of the slide, these are actually our three legal entities in the Philippines. So we have IBM Philippines, IBM Solutions Delivery, and IBM Business Services. Okay, so we are now going to our agenda. So basically, fresh graduates checklist. So after your graduations, what do you need to prepare? So as early as now, I'd like to congratulate those who will graduating this year. So here are some tips that I hope you can use after your graduation. Okay. So here's the handy guide. No? So first thing that actually you need to prepare is your proof of education. So don't forget important days like the release dates of your diploma, POR, or certificate of graduation. So as early as now, put them in your calendar so you can remember it. So aside from requesting original copies, I suggest that you at least secure two certified true copies of each document so you won't have to keep going back to your school if you need a copy in the future. So another tip is keep your original transcript of records or diploma and only submit a photocopy versions to your prospective employers because acquiring a new one or acquiring original copies will cost you an extra fee from your school, right? So the next one is to prepare your valid IDs. So I listed here primary valid IDs and secondary valid IDs. So there's an ID type, its validity, its price, and of course where to get those valid IDs. So it doesn't mean that you have to get all of this, but what I'm trying to say is these are the valid IDs that can be considered. Because some companies requires you to get two valid IDs or they also consider secondary valid IDs. So you can choose from this list. So let's go one by one. For the first one, you can actually secure a passport. So its validity is 10 years. So the price is ranging from 950 to 1,200. I think for 950 it's because it requires 12 business days, 1,200 if you want it to be expedited. So you can get it from the office of DFA. It's also good to have a passport because who knows, your future job might open you to travel opportunities, right? So it's good that you have one prepared already. So next one is your driver's license. Validity is 5 years. For the price, it's ranging from it's actually around 685. Where can you get it? It's the office of LTO. The following IDs are free. So you have your UMID, PhilHealth, and Teen ID. So it's free. You can get it from SSS, PhilHealth, BIR. So the good thing here is we are slowly moving to a digital space. So everything can be actually applied online. No? So my advice for you is to check the sites of the company, visit their company sites, and then you can apply an application form ahead online. Okay. So the next is postal ID. So it has a validity of 3 years. It costs around 504. For the postal ID, it's actually one of the easiest identification card that you can get. No, so you can just use it to validate your identity and address when transacting with private and government offices. Voters ID, I just included here in case some of you may already have a voters ID. It's actually being recognized as one of the most, actually, it's being provided by COMELEC or the Commission of Elections. So, however, they stopped issuing voters ID since 2017 because of the national ID system implementation. But if you were able to secure one, so it's actually recognized still as a primary valid ID. The next is PRC ID for those licensed professionals such as accountants, engineers, architects, dentists, or doctors, among many others. So the price varies depending on your profession, right? Lastly is the national ID. It's also called the Philippine Systems ID or Phil ID. So actually, just to share, It's actually mandated by Republic Act 11055 or the Philippine Identification System Act. So if you already have one, your national ID should be accepted in all private and government transactions. So I think there are some actually booth in the malls where you can apply for a national ID. And it's actually for free. So might be good that if you see one, you can already apply for it. Okay. So for the next one are your secondary valid IDs. So you have the NBI clearance, police clearance, and barangay clearance. So some of them has fees, so you can get it from, of course, nearest police station, NBI, barangay hall. So like I mentioned earlier, it's my advice is for you to also visit their sites so you can get a schedule ahead of time, or you already fill out the necessary documents before actually going to their office. Secondary valid IDs also includes birth certificate. So you can request it from the Philippine Statistic Office, costing 330. I also included here other government IDs or forms that may be required by the companies, such as Pag-ibig and BIR forms. So after graduating and when you apply for a companies, most likely you will fill out certain BIR forms. So it can be overwhelming at the start because you have to secure several IDs, but actually it's pretty useful if you have all this prepared already. So once you've been contacted by a possible employer, you already have this requirements prepared. And actually, you can use it for long term as well. Okay. All right. So moving to the next slide. So after applying for those IDs, fill out several forms, we go to several tips after graduations as well. So first one is it's better to research for career opportunities. So Google is your friend. So I advise is to do a quick Google search for any available jobs in your wanted field just to see what's possible for you. So you can also check which companies you want to or choose what companies that you are interested in. Check their culture, their work shift, work location. It's better to be prepared for those things as well. All right. So next one is draft your CV or your resume. So start a rough draft of your resume that's tailored to the jobs that you saw on your research. So highlight your achievements, your internship experience, or the trainings that you have attended. And I think Kim mentioned earlier, no, that it's very important that you put your information details. So make sure that those details are correct so the employers can reach you easily, right? Next is character references. So another part of your CV or resume is that you have to prepare for it's for the character references section. So as a fresh graduate, usually this would be the professors that you grow close with, or your intern supervisors, or your manager. So talk to them early on so you can get their permission. As a tip as well, do not include their contact details in your CV unless it is requested. So, di ba, in your CV, you should put na lang, it's character references are available upon request. So, don't immediately put their contact details. Okay? All right. So, prepare your pre-employment requirements. So, every employer has different requirements, and it's good to prepare them so you are ready. So, like I mentioned earlier, at least you already have an idea what are considered as the valid IDs. So at as early on, you already have those pre-employment requirements in place. So usually it's at least two government IDs, an original copy of your birth certificate, your college diploma, your transcript. Yeah, so we discussed earlier what are to consider as the valid IDs and secondary IDs. So make sure that you prepare them. Next is office clothes. So if you still don't have professional work ready clothes in your closet, it's time to shop, but you don't have to splurge on it. So what important is that you just have to look presentable, and actually it varies from companies. So actually for us, we are not required to wear professional clothes, so smart casual will do. So in our case, we can go in the office in jeans or in shirts. Like I mentioned earlier, important thing is you have to look presentable, right? So the next one is professional photos. So go to a studio to have your photos taken professionally. Usually, it is a requirement by the employer. Some government offices also need a photo to process your ID forms or applications. So, I repeat, it has to be professional. So, selfies just won't cut it. Okay, so don't try to attempt to get a selfie. So, better if you have your professional photos taken, right? And lastly, here is create a general life goal plans. So lastly, write down what you want to achieve in your life in the future. It always pays to have a goal that you're looking at. It can also serve as your motivation. Okay. Right. So I think that ends this slide. So happy adulting. So at first it might be tedious that you have to secure all those IDs, all those requirements. But trust me, if you have prepared it as early as now, you won't have any problem. Okay. All right. So that ends my presentation. I'd just like to share here our social media accounts. If you want to be connected with IBM, just follow us on our social media accounts. So there's our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and our career site. I have also included here QR. So if you want to grow your skills and earn IBM badges, you can register your interest. It's for free. Okay. All right. So for Jobs 180, you can visit actually our page in Jobs 180. So it's jobs180.com/IBM Philippines. We have open opportunities for finance and accounting, business administration, psychology, and IT and computer science graduates. Okay, so visit our page. It's jobs180.com/IBM Philippines. Right, so I think I'll stop sharing if there are any questions.
Thank you for that, Miss Petite. Ayan. So to our audience, we are now opening the floor for questions. Ayan, I'm just looking at, ayan. Okay. Sige, ma'am. So I'll go into the questions. I'll go first. So, ma'am, what would be like the biggest culture shock
Culture
that
shock.
you
Okay.
prepare for? Kasi diba they used to be in school and now they're joining a company. So what are the
Mm-hmm.
things that they have to look out for?
Mm-hmm. All right. I would say it's really like a culture shock. No, so it's really more on being prepared. Okay? So, culture shock naman siguro culture shock ka lang because it's a different environment, 'di ba? So, you're so used in being with your friends from school, But now that you're joining company, you're a newbie, you're dealing with different people, different positions, that might come as a culture shock for some. But if you are prepared naman, siguro my advice, don't be afraid to ask questions. No? So you might feel intimidated because they've been in the company for quite some time. So just ask questions, no? So you can meet friends there. Some of the people there naman, they treat na their coworkers as family. So don't be afraid, no, as a fresh grad. But it's valid to feel that way, no. It's understandable as siguro as your first day, second day, but you'll get used to it, no. It's just like being in a new school or entering college, 'di ba? The first time you entered college from high school, grade school, parang you felt that it's so big, no? It's different. You used to be with your high school friends for such a long time. So don't be afraid to ask, and I might be surprised. You'll meet new friends immediately once you go to a new company or to your first company.
Ayan. Thank you for that, ma'am. Tsaka ang preparation po nito, physical, mental, emotional talaga kapag magjo-join.
Yes.
Ayan.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that, ma'am. Next question po, coming from AU Jose Abad Santos. May we ask, what is the difference between a curriculum vitae and the resume?
All right. Actually, for that, it's for curriculum vitae and resume, there's no much difference naman eh, no? It's being more comprehensive lang for all the details, no? So when you say CV and resume, usually you just include all the necessary details. As a fresh graduates, you don't have naman parang ano eh, parang you can't put naman so much comprehensive details, 'di ba? So what important is, like I mentioned earlier, is you highlight your internship experience. Actually, your achievements as a college student. You can put there siguro if you were a leader of the group, what are your organizations, if you have a role in your organizations. Kasi as a fresh graduates, wala siya namang difference for the CV and resume. So, my general advice rather is highlight your accomplishments and include trainings that you might have, especially if you have mga IT related trainings for IT, or useful trainings for your courses. So highlight those things because there's no much to put sa baka you feel intimidated, ano lalagay ko, I'm a fresh graduate, I don't have a work experience. So highlight your internship experience.
Ayan. Thank you for that, ma'am. Ma'am, we have a question here coming from AU Main. May we ask if they should wear like a corporate attire for virtual interviews, virtual job fairs, or the companies expecting them to be on proper ano lang po attire po?
All right. For the virtual interviews, I suggest that you look presentable, no? So, something siguro that has parang you look smart casual, okay? But the important thing is rather than be looking at presentable, no, is check if your mic is working. Okay? That you have a secured place, no? Like kasi if it's too distracting if may mga background noises. So, secure a place that's medyo quiet, no? And also, more than that, you should prepare for your interviews. So, research ahead what the company is, no? So, what is the role that you are applying? Because there are some, they're applying for the roles, they just apply without knowing what is this role about. So, when you apply for the role, make sure that you know about the details of that role and you are really interested. It's not for the sake of just applying because there's an opening. Okay? So it's a major turn off for the company. So always prepare.
Thank you for that, ma'am. Honest question po, are you joining the career fair of AU on
Yes, yes.
25? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
sige.
are, we are.
Sige, ma'am. Nagtatanong po kasi sila if ina-expect niyo po ba na naka-corporate attire sila on that day.
Ano kami, we're very flexible. Actually, in IBM na, we are not required to parang sobrang corporate.
Kahit
corporate.
smart ano lang po.
yeah, smart casual. We go to the office in jeans, in shirts. Tapos syempre, you have to be presentable pa rin, no?
Ayan. Thank you, ma'am. Next question from AU Pasig. How can you spot or land a good job offer virtually?
Mm-hmm.
Is this possible? Like, what are the, do you need to make a lasting impression on your interviewer po?
Of course. So, like I mentioned, no, you have to be prepared, no. Of course, setting, let's say, a good impression. It always comes in preparations, no. Siguro my tip is, you guys, you have to be confident, no. So, when you go to the interviews, kasi usually, when we interview, kami pa yung nag-aano nagpipiga, no, with the answers, no, parang they're not too confident. So my advice, express yourself clearly. Don't be afraid, no, and of course, being nervous is part of it. But as long as you can express yourself clearly. So won't matter. And of course, as a fresh graduates, we don't expect you to have experience, of course, di ba? So you really have to make a good impression on your work attitude, okay? Your internship experiences and the way you answer our questions. So some are behavioral and situational questions. So be confident. Don't be afraid to express yourself. And ano naman practicing helps a lot. So during your interviews, try to talk in a mirror, practice how you speak. Yan, it really helps.
Thank you, ma'am. Last question na lang po from AU
Sure, sure.
Main. How do you know if a virtual interview went well? What are good like signals?
Actually, you can tell if it's a good interview if the interviewer and you are is very engaging. You're having a good conversation, and you believe that you were able to answer all the questions correctly. You can feel it in yourself, di ba? Parang you'll know that parang I did a good interview. So like I said, be confident, no? We don't expect you to have experience, but it will really impress us if you know something. Like, for example, you did a research, you know some terms, ganyan. So it would really have a good impression on us. So, like I said, prepare, and do your research. And don't be afraid to speak um, confidently and clearly.
Ayan. From Erlin Opok. Do you accept high school graduate or senior graduates po? Senior
Alright.
high school graduates po. Ayan.
All right. So for IBM, we are accepting senior high school graduates for some of the roles. All right, but not all roles, no, kasi it really depends on our account or clients. But we do accept senior high school graduate for some of our roles. Yeah, that's for IBM. I'm just not sure with the other companies, no, if they are open about it. But with us, we are accepting for our some of our rules.
Okay. Okay. Noted, ma'am. Thank you po. Ayan. So, ma'am, they prepared a certificate for you. That's the AU Guidance Office. So, we would like to present this certificate of appreciation to Miss Petite Francisco for her invaluable contribution as resource speaker for Marketing Me after graduation checklist held at Arellano University, signed by Ma'am Fe Caridad kay Correotica, AVP for Student Personal Services. Miss Petit, we will be sending this via email na lang po.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
Shari. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys in the virtual career fair. All right.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Thank
So to
you.
our audience, the link for IBM if you want to explore their vacancies, the positions, research na kayo kung ano pwede niyong puntahan na position, the link is scrolling on your screen. It's jobs180.com/IBM Philippines. Again, the link is jobs180.com/IBM Philippines. Ayan. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So let's move on to our, sorry, we have an announcement here. Ayan, kakapasok ko lang ng announcement. So to our audience, please be advised that, where is it? That creating your resume link and your attendance for the virtual job fair will secure your attendance from the guidance office. Sorry, will secure your clearance from the guidance office. Ayan. Again, the announcement is coming from AU Guidance is creating your resume link and your attendance for the virtual career fair will secure your clearance from the guidance office. So to everyone who's watching us, sama-sama tayo sa virtual career fair on your schools po, on your date, on the dates for your schools po. Ayan. So let's go to our next speaker. Our next speaker for this topic, virtual interview tips, is Miss Fenina Simando, Recruitment Manager for Shearwater Health. Miss Nina started her career in the BPO industry in 2003 as a sales representative for Dell. She then moved back to her province and piloted ESL classes geared towards landing a job in the BPO sector. In 2007, she started her journey in talent acquisition as a recruitment assistant. She realized that she found her calling and has never looked back since. So Miss Nina has experience in site launches, having helped successfully launch two BPO companies in her province. Her exposure is in talent acquisition operations and sourcing, supporting volume hiring for retail, finance, travel, and hospitality, telecommunications, healthcare, and technology verticals. She has hired for voice and non-voice accounts for both English and multilingual requirements. She also has experience working in an RPO, managing sourcing and hiring of niche roles. She is trained and certified to conduct the A method of hiring and has spent more than a decade interviewing applicants. Ms. Nina took up European languages at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She is a mother of to an 18-year-old who is into cooking and illustration, to a 16-year-old who owns a baking business and is into sports, stocks, and cryptocurrency investments, and to a precarious 2-year-old. Miss Nina? Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Good
Hope I did
morning,
not butcher
everyone. I
your
realize it was a
introduction.
bit long, no?
It's
Can you hear
okay.
me?
Yes, ma'am, we hear you loud and clear. Can we test your share screen po?
Sure.
Ayan.
All
Let's
right,
go.
it's there. I'm glad that everyone can see it. Maybe I should remove my glasses because it's starting to fog up.
Ayan, ma'am.
All
Ma'am, we'll
right.
leave you to it. I'll give you 20 minutes and then I'll be back
Mhm.
for Q&A po. So,
All
thank
right.
you, Miss Nina. You
Thank you
have the
so
floor.
much, Sherry. Hi, everyone. Good morning. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to share with you everything that I know about acing job interviews or virtual interviews for that matter. Now, I've been just a bit of about myself. I've been in the industry, just like what Sherry mentioned earlier, for more than a decade now. And what I'm about to share with you is based from experience from an employer standpoint, what do we look for? Um, what are some of the tips that I could share with you based on the candidates, maybe the thousands of candidates that I have interviewed over my career as a recruiter. So, just to give you though a bit of a background of where I'm part of the talent acquisition team of Shearwater Health. We are the home of clinicians. We are a CPO, and if you are looking at pursuing a career in the medical field, but would also want to be part of the CPO world, then this is the perfect company for you because we have a lot of opportunities that we could share. We provide dedicated teams of remote and on site clinicians with over 3,000 solving medical and administrative problems every hour of every day. So you get to use your clinical competencies while maintaining a professional work experience recognized globally. There. And just to share with you as well, as early as now, I would like to advertise that if you want to participate in the virtual job fair, please click on the link. It's currently scrolling on your screen, and you can also capture it and register online. All right, so let's get to the meat of the business. First off, is we have to understand first what a job interview is. What is it? What is the purpose? And most importantly, how do we ace it? Because if we don't understand what it's there for, then chances are it would be difficult for us to, go through an organized way, a structured way of acing it. So, first off, is job interviews are nothing but a conversation, and I would like you all to focus on that. It's a conversation between a job applicant and a representative of an employer. So I know that for fresh grads, especially, or any person for that matter, trying to land a job or apply for a job, it could be a daunting task. It could be horrifying at some point going through interviews. But if you focus on what's important, and that is it's just a conversation, then it would somehow help you ease the nervousness that you would feel. So it is conducted to assess whether the applicant is a good fit for the role. Next is we talk about what is the purpose of job interviews. So interviews are a two-way process, right? It's not just you trying to prove to the employer that you're fit for the role. It's also about you discerning whether the company that you're applying for is the company that you would like to work in. Because the reality is you have to spend at least 8 hours to 9 hours of your time in the company. So that's 9 out of 24 hours daily for 5 days a week, right? So it should be a perfect fit, or at least a very good fit between you and the employer. So if you're familiar with the courting process, then that's just it. It's a getting to know you process between you, the candidate, and the employer. Now, how do we ace job interviews? Number one is preparation is key. We never go into battle without preparing. We have to make sure that we take necessary steps to ensure our success. Second is put your best foot forward. And next is review the interview and always get feedback. Now, we take on the first step, which is preparation. Preparation is key. First off, is you have to know what you want, you have to do research, and you have to practice a lot. Okay? How do we do that? Number one is know what you want. Okay? This will help you align your goals to what the company that you're applying for um, their goals as well. You have to know what you want in life, at least for the time being, so that you'd be able to choose and discern which company to apply for. And when you prepare for this, it would be easier for you to eventually answer all the interview questions if you know what you want. So, number one is set personal and professional goals. Next is what kind, if that would be a bit difficult for you, what kind of impact would you like to make in this world? Okay, what kind of legacy would you like to leave through the job that you would be applying for? Right? It could be I want to help others. I want to, like me, my goal in life really is to help Filipinos find sustainable employment, viable employment, because I believe that for every person that we hire, four other people benefit from that. And that has been not just a career goal, but a vocation for me as well. And it has helped me land a job in recruitment and stay in recruitment as well over the years. Next is research is very important. Nothing is so frustrating for an employer who is talking to a candidate who does not have any idea what the job entails, the job that they're applying for entails, or what the company is all about, right? In billiards, if you play billiards, because I do sometimes, but I'm not very good at it. I don't really know to which pocket the ball will fall into, but all I know is I just hope that it's gonna fall into one of the six holes on the billiards table. So that's also the same feeling that an employer would feel if you don't do your research as a candidate or as an applicant. So you have to find out the minimum skills requirement. What are the qualifications for the role? Also, check company culture, the management style, hours of operations, career growth, attrition rate, length of tenure, or at the very least, the proximity to your home, especially nowadays when you're looking for a job and commuting can sometimes be very taxing. It's important that you take all of these things into consideration because this could make or break your success in the role that you're applying for. Next is practice. Practice is very important. Anticipate potential questions. You're very lucky because in the digital age, Google is at your hands. You can easily Google potential questions depending on the um, job that you're applying for. During my time, the internet was really not available to us and it was very difficult for us to, do research for the companies that we're applying for. So, how do you practice? Buddy up with a friend, someone whom you trust and would give you really honest feedback, right? Someone who would say that, friend, you have to improve on your comm skills, or friend, you have a lot of unnecessary noises that you make when you speak. Or friend, you have to improve on your grammar. So buddy up with a friend and practice answering and asking questions with each other. It would help if that friend would also be within the same course as you so that he or she would understand what the questions that need to be asked. Also important is practice in front of a mirror. Sometimes we don't usually see our faces, right? So it's important that we know how we look when we talk. It's important that we know how we look to another person because there are times when you don't really mean it, but it looks like you're angry. So it's important to know that, and practicing in front of a mirror really helps. All right. So we now move on to putting our best foot forward. You've already done your research, you have practiced, everything is in place, you're now ready to go to that interview. Now, interviews usually last for just 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour maximum, usually. And we have to make sure that that interview or that would be the best 30 minutes of our lives, all right? Because always in any interview that you go through, you always put your best foot forward. So number one is you dress and act professionally, you answer questions with confidence, and make sure that you ask questions as well. Now, what do you do to dress and act professionally? Number one is dress appropriately. I know that this has been asked earlier. What is an appropriate outfit during an interview? And I agree, it would really depend on a company, right? Like there are more conservative companies if you're applying at a law firm or a finance corp or a corporation, then it would make sense if you dress in a corporate attire. It would help if you would observe what current employees are wearing to work. This would give you a clue as to what you should or how you should dress up for an interview. If a company is really conservative, then that is how you should dress up as well. Now, you have to make that investment in clothes, but it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. The first clothes corporate outfit that I bought was in Divisoria, and it helped me land jobs after that. Now, if, for example, you're in the creative industry and you would want to land a job in advertising or maybe in illustration or digital animation. Usually, these companies are a bit not that conservative when it comes to outfit, and you could go all out in being um, as creative as possible as well. But I'll always make sure that it's appropriate, and always make sure that it's within the room of decency. So that would be my advice as far as dressing appropriately is concerned. Now, in terms of makeup, for the women, you could use makeup definitely, but a clear and clean face is enough. You have to make sure that your makeup isn't that garish so as to, turn off the interviewer or your potential employer. Make sure that it's going to highlight your facial features and not reduce the value of your face. Please make sure that you also are aware and conscious of hygiene. Take a bath or shower before you go through that interview. Make sure that you don't smell, or you smell good, or you don't smell like anything at all. Be aware as well of the perfume that you will be using. Make sure that it's not very potent, or it's not overpowering, because interviews are usually conducted in small spaces. So the rooms are small, interview rooms are small. So if you use an overpowering perfume, then it might give the interviewer a headache, and it also might affect your performance during the interview. In terms of jewelry, if you want to wear jewelry as well to accentuate your outfit and also your face, you may do so. But please make sure that these are not the kinds that make a lot of noise. Like for the women, if you prefer to use bangles, that's perfectly fine, but make sure that they won't ring like a bell whenever you move. So it could be distracting to the interviewer and also to you as well if your jewelry would make a lot of noise. All right. So next to that is make sure that you arrive at least 15 minutes before your interview schedule. In fact, when this is as far as virtual interview is concerned, as well as even if it's face-to-face interview, when I went through interviews before, I would scout the building. I would check, especially if this is in the central business districts and it takes place in, the higher floors, like 35th floor. I would have to know how many people go up the elevators at any given time, or at the time of my interview, because sometimes it takes a while for you to be able to ride the elevator, and this might make you late for an interview, which doesn't make a good impression for the employer. If it's a virtual interview, make sure that everything is in place before the interview. 15 minutes before, you're already in the waiting room. Check your microphone, check your camera, and make sure that there are no distractions. Inform your family members that you will be going through an interview, and as much as possible, that they shouldn't distract you. All the babies who tend to cry, move them to another room. All the roosters in your area, tell them to be quiet for at least 15 minutes so as to not distract you and the interviewer during the interview. If it's a face to face interview, bring an extra copy of your resume or your CV, because you never know, they might need an extra copy of it along with the other documents that you would be needing to submit. If it's a face-to-face interview, offer a firm handshake. Although I would right now, maybe we could do away first with a handshake because of the current health situation. But when everything returns to normal, a handshake would also tell so much about you and your personality. Next is sit properly. Nothing turns off an interviewer more than someone who slouches during an interview. This could be either virtual or face to face. Now, how you sit would tell is an indication for the interviewer how interested you are with the job. Don't be too rigid that words wouldn't be able to come out of your mouth anymore, but don't slouch either. All right. The perfect sitting position is for you to sit almost at the edge of your seat and don't lean back on the backrest. Okay. Also, be nice and polite to everyone. As an interviewer, I always ask our receptionist or those in the reception area how a candidate acts before he or she is called to the interview. This feedback is very important to me in determining character. Sometimes you don't know it, but your interviewer might be sitting with you in the lounge area and just uh, assessing the situation and the candidates as well without you knowing it. So it's important to be nice and polite to everyone. And eventually, these folks in the waiting area would be your coworkers as well. So it's important that you are friendly. If not friendly, at least be polite and be nice. Also, I wasn't able to put this here, but bring some chocolates and gum with you and a water that you can hide discreetly in your bag because sometimes, especially if it's face to face, sometimes you would wait for like an hour or so before the interview. And it's important that you don't faint from hunger or thirst and that when you speak, your breath would still smell good. All right. Next is when you answer questions, you have to answer questions with confidence. And this would go back to the research that you have made. All right. That's why research is really important in terms of preparation. Be clear and concise with your answers. When you practice, check as well for any unnecessary noises that you make when you're talking. That's why I mentioned earlier that you have to buddy up with someone who could give you that feedback. Next is it's okay to ask for clarifications. If you didn't understand the question, it's okay for you to tell the interviewer that you didn't understand the question. Or it's okay for you to ask the interviewer to paraphrase or to rephrase his or her questions. Nothing is more frustrating for an employer, potential employer interviewer, than realizing that the candidate was not able to answer the question properly. And most importantly, is smile. Now, this has two reasons. Okay, why do we smile? Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that there's a psychological reason behind this. People who smile more tend to I mean employers or interviewers tend to warm up more to people with smiling faces. All right, it's always a good thing if someone would be able to you'd be able to talk to someone who seems friendly. So we tend to warm up to people who have open and smiling faces. Next is, and this is really important, especially to our fresh grads, people tend to be very nervous during the interview that you tend to stutter, right? Because sometimes the nervousness would come or it would be evident with the way you speak. So when you smile, your facial muscles are pulled back and it would be easier for you to control the way you speak. So instead of stuttering, you'd be able to control that and it would seem to your interviewer that you're a very friendly person. So two birds with one stone. Next is ask questions. And we appreciate candidates who do this. There are a lot of things that you could ask, but please make sure that they are related to the role. Some of the questions that you may ask is what do you like most about working here? Because this will give you a glimpse of the culture of the company. Next is what don't you like so much about working here? There may be red flags that you need to know, and asking this question would be beneficial to you. Next is what did you like most about my answers? You would be able to gauge how you did during the interview if you ask this question. And conversely, you could also ask, what didn't you like most about my answers? There. So next is review the interview, and this would help you with practicing. Remember, practicing is not just between you and your friend or between you and the mirror. The more interviews you go through, the better you become at it. All right. So if you go through a lot of interviews, eventually it's going to be second nature to you. It will reduce your nervousness, and it would also help you, learn from experience. So you just become better and better and better at it. If you are in theater, if you have experience acting in theater, apart from the rehearsals that you go through, you realize that the more performances you have, the better you become at it. So by the time you reach the last performance, you realize that you've actually mastered the entire um, scene or the entire play or the entire musical. So you review the highlights and the lowlights of the interview. What are the things that you feel you did well in? What are the things that you feel you need to improve on? Next is check for areas of improvement. Um, what were some of the things that you struggled in, and how would you improve at it? Next is send a thank you note. Interviewers are people too, and we appreciate appreciative candidates. It's also one way for you to tell your interviewer that, hey, I'm here and I really look forward to the job. So, what are the qualities that interviewers look for? Number one is we look for candidates who know what they want in their career. The last thing that we look into, or the last candidate that we want, is someone who doesn't know what he or she wants in life, because chances are the person at the slightest struggle with the company would leave. Next is someone who can point to successes at work or elsewhere. That's why it's very important to have co curricular or extracurricular activities in school. Next would be know their strength. They know what they're good at. They can think independently. They know how to solve problems. They are very proactive and don't just wait for people to tell them what to do. They're happy to learn new things. I mean, I took up European languages in college, but I am in recruitment wherein majority of the people I interact with, or majority of my coworkers, are psychology graduates. Next is someone who works well with a team. And this is very important as well, because even if you become an individual contributor, chances are you would still interact with a lot of people in your company. And a team player is always viewed as a value add to any organization. Next is you are responsible, and of course, someone who can commit. Commitment is key as well. So this is, I'll just give you an insight to the common interview process. You have the introduction, also the setting of expectations, and then you go through the interview proper. And usually interviewers give you feedback within the interview or after a couple of days. What are some of the common interview questions? The common interview questions would be tell me something about yourself. And for this question, you have to do away with the common I'm very hardworking. Be honest. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? But make sure that when you state your weaknesses, they would still seem like strengths. Why do you want to be part of this company? So that's why research is key, because you have to be able to state specifically what are the things that you like about the company that you're applying for. Next is what are your long term plans and goals, and how do you see yourself 5 years from now? This usually determines your staying power within the company. The longer you stay, or you would like to stay within the company, then the higher your chances are at getting hired. Tell me about a time when you dealt with a difficult person. What happened and what did you do? Sometimes interviewers ask behavioral questions to know how a person would react to adverse adverse situations and also difficult situations. And most importantly is why should we hire you? That's why it's really important that you know what the company is looking for. So internalize on the job brief that is stated in the job opening and make a checklist as well as to what are the skills that you already have that matches the job advert or the job description. So, before we end, I would like to congratulate you guys in advance to the graduates. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life that you've imagined. That is from Thorough. And again, my name is Nina. I am part of the talent acquisition team of Shearwater Health, the home of clinicians. We are one of the premier CPO companies in the Philippines. And again, the link to the uh, where you can upload your resume during the job fair is scrolling on your screen. And please feel free to send in your applications. I look forward to meeting all of you. Good luck and again, congratulations.
Thank you, Miss Nina. So to our audience, we are now open for questions. Ayan. So ma'am will go ahead po with the questions. Dire-diretso na po ito.
Sure. Yes,
So
po.
question number one, how long should applicants wait after an interview to follow up if they haven't heard feedback from the employer?
I'd say that employers normally give feedback, if not immediately, after 1 to 2 days. If you haven't heard back, you could send a note and say that I'm still here and I would love to know about how I did. And this is also what I mentioned earlier, send a thank you note. But in fact, you're just asking for feedback. So it's hitting two birds with one stone.
Is it safe to say, ma'am, like if 2 weeks has passed and you didn't get any notification from the interviewer, does that mean that they moved on from your application? Is that a good
Not
like sign?
necessarily. Sometimes it does take some time. That's why during the interview you can ask that question. If they
How
are
long?
also processing candidates and how long you should expect a response or a follow up interview with them.
All right.
It's okay. It's okay to ask that. All right, so that you wouldn't be in the dark.
Another question here, ma'am, is it they're asking if it's okay about is it okay to ask about salary and benefits during the first interviews? Is it okay? Okay lang ba yun, ma'am, itanong?
Well, normally I would not advise it, but if it's something that's really important, because it's what do you call this? It may be a sensitive topic for some, and there are employers who volunteer this information as well. Usually the question would be how much are you expecting or what's your expected salary? So it's okay to answer that honestly. However, when you answer that, please make sure that you've also done your research on the salary from expectation with for that role and for that industry.
Okay. So next question, what is the perception of an interviewer towards tattooed interviewees? Is it okay?
Personally, I'm okay with it. It doesn't define anyone. Tattoos are actually a cool expression of their whatever it is that they're expressing. So if I'm the interviewer, I'm okay with it. But again, it would depend on the culture of the company. That's why it's important to research on that as well. There are more conservative companies who may frown against this. So if you feel that that the company that you're applying for is a bit conservative, it would be best if you cover it first and then ask it during the interview.
All right, thank you for that, ma'am. Is it safe? It's safe to say, ma'am, na other companies like for positions, they strictly have a policy na ay dapat hindi kita yung tattoo ganyan, for example.
There
For
may be companies
specific positions lang naman.
for specific
Alam,
positions, yes. Like
opo.
I know for flight attendants, tattoos
Yes,
are not
yes, yes.
allowed.
Opo.
But for
Ayan.
BPO, CPOs, generally tattoos are okay.
Ayan. Okay. So from AU Pasig, is it okay for a company to not show the job description what if a company is not able to present one right after an applicant is selected? Is this considered a red flag?
I would say it might be because companies need to be transparent as well. Again, this is a two-way process. You have to know that you're fit for the role, right? It would also show you that they are really honest with what they want, what they are looking for. So it would, and you would also know for yourself whether that post or that opening is for you. So if personally, if I don't see any job descriptions, I either research on that, and if I really couldn't find anything online, then I skip it. It's important for me.
Thank you for that advice, ma'am. So, ayun guys, so alam niyo na yung red flags, no, kapag hindi transparent yung companies, pag una kayong maselect bago nila ipakita yung job description, so alam niyo na red flag yun. So, dapat
Mhm.
transparent on both ends po. Ayan. So, ma'am, we have here a certificate for you.
Oh, wow.
So,
Thank you
this
so
one is
much.
from AU Guidance. We'll be sending this po via email na lang. Ayan. So, this certificate of appreciation is presented to Ma'am Fenina, no, wala. Ma'am Fenina Simando, for her invaluable contribution as resource speaker for the webinar Marketing Me Virtual Interview Tips held at Arellano University, Manila, signed by Ma'am Fe Caridad Corriodica, AVP for Student Personal Services. Ma'am Nina, we will be sending this via email na lang po. Please, paalala nyo na lang sa amin, ma'am, baka makalimutan po namin.
Yes, I definitely will. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. So to our audience, if you wish to explore vacancies over at Shearwater, the link is scrolling on your screen. Mag-research na kayo habang maaga. The link is jobstraining.com/shearwatercpo. Oh, may pahabol na question, ma'am. Sorry.
Yes, po.
Would it be okay to mention about negative experiences from past employers? Is this
I would
something that you include pa po
I would advise
if you're an
against that.
applicant?
And if you're an applicant, try to veer away from bad mouthing your previous employers. So focus on your strengths and what you can contribute. What you can contribute. Sorry, focus on your strengths, your skills, and veer away from bad mouthing your previous employers.
Ayan. Thank you, ma'am, for answering all of our questions this morning po. Have a
It
great
was my
day, Miss
pleasure.
Nina. Thank
Thank
you
you so
po.
much. You too. Bye.
See you soon, ma'am. All right. So, to our audience again, the announcement is you have to create your resume link and that your attendance for the virtual job fair will secure your clearance from the guidance office. So, to officially close today's session, we would like to call Miss Ludivina Alonso, RGC or PM, to give us the closing remarks.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you to our partner jobs180.com for assisting us in this webinar, and also to our students from different Arellano University branches who took their time to listen and be part of this important activity sponsored by the Central Guidance Office. Finding employment can be a real challenge. One of the most important questions you should ask yourself before starting your journey to employment success is, am I work ready? As Louis Pasteur said more than a century ago, chance favors only the prepared mind. In other words, securing the right job is not a product of luck, but rather of proper preparation. So through the assistance of our partner, jobs180.com, I know you learned so much from today's talk. Just to sum up, to be able to land in your dream job, set a clearly defined career goal, write a good resume and a cover letter, be prepared for job interviews, have all the basic skills, qualifications, and characteristics employers expect in the field, improve your soft skills, and lastly, build your professional networks. I hope you remember those things to make sure you are work ready, and do not procrastinate. Continuously learn, listen, and keep an open mind. Try your best, stay committed, and your hard work will pay off eventually. With this, thank you for listening and good luck to your employment journey in few months from now. God bless you, Chips.
Thank you for that, Ma'am Ludi. So, guys, please don't forget to evaluate this event. So, the link is flashed on the screen and it's also in the comment section. So, please, the control is with the Central Guidance Office. Sila po yung may control dun sa form na yan. Okay. So, thanks for watching, people. Please be reminded of the schedule of the virtual career fair flashing on your screen right now. So, companies will be prioritizing and processing applicants from Arellano University for the 3-day event starting April 25. Ayan. So, please be advised that your resume link and your attendance for the virtual job fair will secure your clearance from the guidance office. That is for all of the AU branches and campuses po. Ayan. So, see you, people. Registration is at schools.jobs180.com/AU. So, please check out our Facebook page for the topics and the other webinars that we will be hosting soon next week. So, you're welcome to join any of the sessions. So, see you guys and have a great afternoon. Happy lunch!
Change. It happens when you least expect it, but also when you embrace it. At Accenture, we help the world's biggest brands thrive through change. Our people combine technology and creativity, expertise and experience, learning and collaboration, passion and purpose to make a difference for our clients, their customers, our company, and our communities. Behind every great change is a great human. Bring your skills, your curiosity, and your true self to your work every day. Let's do incredible things. Let's deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity.